A prisoner who had just completed a 20-year sentence came to a restaurant and was having breakfast. Suddenly, several police cars stopped outside, quickly surrounding the restaurant. Seeing the police with their serious and prepared stance, Jack immediately realized something was wrong. He quickly scanned the interior of the restaurant, confirming that there was only an elderly couple and 2 children present. He instantly understood that the police were here for him. Jack didn't panic. He silently set down his fork and casually pulled out several $100 bills to pay the bill. Just as he finished this action, 2 fully armed officers broke down the door.
Police! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move!
Now, you're gonna slide out from behind that booth. Nice and slow.
Do it now!
But they had no idea that Jack had been a retired general, and taking on these 2 officers would be an easy task. But Jack didn't act. Instead, he stayed silent and raised his hands to cooperate with the arrest. He wasn't afraid. It was just that he was new to this small town and didn't know the situation. He decided to gather information first. After being taken to the police station, Officer Kelly handed him a registration form and asked for his personal information. But Jack remained silent, only sharply observing the details of the police station. This attitude quickly angered Chief Allen. He immediately ordered that Jack be put in the detention room. At the critical moment, Detective Yak stepped in to mediate. He took Jack to a meeting room and explained the reason for the arrest. Last night, a brutal murder occurred in the town. The victim was shot in the back of the head with 2 9mm bullets. After being confirmed dead, the killer continued to beat the body for 2 hours, finally covering it with a piece of cardboard. Then, this morning, a witness saw Jack at the crime scene. Thus, he became a suspect. After hearing the case, Jack, who had remained silent, finally spoke.
Because I didn't kill anybody. At least not recently. And not in this town.
Based on Yax's description, he immediately deduced many details.
3 men dropped this body.
Lightning.
Shooter was someone who knows firearms well. Bullets were small caliber, 9mm, 95 grain, that's subsonic. A silencer was used.
Yax had to admire his analysis, but still wondered why he was at the scene. Jack explained that he had just arrived at the bus station this morning, and, as an outsider, came to the town to mourn a blind blues singer. But the police only found a toothbrush, a French medal, and $200 on him, with such simple luggage, traveling 800 kilometers. No one believed his story. Without an alibi, Yax still decided to keep him locked up. Soon, the case took a turn. A series of numbers was found on the bottom of the victim's shoe. Following the trail, they found the owner of the number, Paul, a bank executive. This well-dressed man initially arrogantly claimed to know nothing, but when he saw a black car outside the window, his expression immediately changed. Before the police could say anything, he hurriedly confessed.
I did it. I killed the guy. It was me.
Even interrupting Kelly as she read his rights. It seemed like going to jail was his only choice. Yax immediately noticed. This was a fake confession, so he decided to play along. He exchanged a look with Kelly and proceeded to arrest Paul, hoping to get more clues. With a new suspect in hand, Yax realized he had wronged Jack. He was about to release him, but to his surprise, Jack adopted an attitude. Reluctantly,
No.
Excuse me?
Not until you let these zip ties come off. We both know I didn't kill anybody, and they're uncomfortable.
Yax asked Kelly to cut the restraints off, but Jack called her over after mocking her for a moment.
Got it.
He confidently walked out of the station. However, the detective quickly stopped Jack. He told Jack all about Paul's identity and the details of his confession, hoping Jack could help analyze more useful information. But Jack's trip had already been ruined by them. He wasn't planning to help anymore. He turned around to leave. Seeing that Jack refused to cooperate, the detective decided to put pressure on him. He said that Paul's claim of being the killer didn't prove Jack's innocence. Paul had also admitted to many false things, so he reasonably suspected that Paul was trying to cover for Jack. Therefore, Jack couldn't leave until the case was closed. This statement completely ignited Jack's anger. He immediately turned around and threw out a key clue. It turned out that just before Paul was brought to the station, Officer Stephen had an odd 2-second eye contact with him. This clearly suggested that there was a secret between the two. Without hesitation, he decided to summon both Jack and Stephen to the office for a confrontation. Inside the interrogation room, an unexpected truth emerged. It turned out that Paul and Stephen were cousins. According to Stephen, on the night of the crime, their entire family had a gathering until 2 a.m. Paul was already too drunk to do anything. There was no way he could have gone to the crime scene. Although they temporarily cleared Paul's alibi, why he was willing to take the fall for a stranger was still a mystery. To get Paul to confess, the detective's eyes glinted with cunning.
Yeah, well, maybe a week in a lockup will motivate him. Let me know what he says.
The hell does that mean?
Before Jack could react, the cold handcuffs were placed on his wrists again. The detective was planning to throw both Jack and Paul into prison.
Inventory is watching Ring. He'll steal him first 5 minutes he's in there. It was nice talking to you.
Soon, the two of them arrived at the prison. As soon as they entered, they were met with deliberate trouble from the prison guards. The guard, under the pretense of searching for important evidence, ordered them to strip for an anal check in front of everyone. Having been a major before, Jack knew this was against the rules. He refused without hesitation.
No. Blanket strip search policies are unconstitutional unless there's clear articulable suspicion of criminal activity. The victim I'm suspected of murdering was shot by a handgun that would measure 4 inches by 6. That weapon's not fitting inside me or any other human being without sending them to the hospital. Since that's the only contraband related to this crime, your request is unlawful.
Seeing that the guard wasn't backing down, Jack decided to threaten him.
So if you think you can perform the inspection without getting seriously injured, go for it. Otherwise, check the box on your clipboard.
Faced with this strong man, the guard had no choice but to suppress his anger, finish the final procedures, and led them into their cell. The guard, still glaring with hatred, clearly wouldn't let Jack off easily. Sure enough, the next morning, Jack sensed the strange atmosphere in the prison, facing the menacing criminals around him. Jack remained calm and composed, but Paul, with his delicate appearance, wasn't as lucky in the harsh prison world. His handsome face was bound to become a target. Sure enough, the prison boss, Big Black, soon set his sights on Paul.